back to the Junglesey channel.
Thank you for tuning in at the Junglesey channel. I have another dandy adventure for us. Between the ages of 8 and 10 years old, it became very apparent that I had a defect in my jaw, where my jaw was growing out and forming an underbite, opposite of like people having those bunny teeth. I knew that at some point I was gonna have to get my jaw corrected. We were a lower income family, just doing the best that we could. There was no way that this surgery was gonna be affordable. My mom went ahead and wrote a letter and applied to the Shriners Hospital before my 18th birthday, so I was still considered a child. Thankfully, I was accepted for this procedure, which was a huge miracle in my life. After 8 months of wearing braces, I went to Shriners in Chicago to have the procedure done. I was put on a gurney before the procedure and I was in a hospital gown. When I woke up in the intensive care unit after my 10 to 11 hour procedure, yeah, it was long, my surgeon said originally we were gonna just move the bottom jaw back, but you know, I was playing around with it. We need to move the top jaw forward some. Sawed out the top, brought it forward, sawed out the bottom, set it back, took bone from the bottom, fused it on the top when the jaw was pulled forward. He rubber banded my mouth shut after the procedure was finished. It was rubber band shut so gradually I could get used to my new bite. I felt like Neo waking up from the Matrix, totally disoriented. My face felt all wrong. It's like, what is wrong with my face? But I couldn't say it. I was like, for the first 24 hours, I was in ICU. Another thing that resembled the Matrix for me, that part right after Neo wakes up from being in the Matrix, he pulls this huge thing out of his face. I had this really long tube that went up my nose and down my throat because it was a straight shot. In and down. The reason for that was to pump out the excess blood from the surgery. The tube was really weird. Each time I swallowed, there was like this vacuum where it like, and it pulled out this blood. They pulled out the tube out of my nose and it was probably like this long. So it's just like, it was like a huge long worm coming out of my nasal passages. For the next 4 days, I was in a normal hospital bed. I could only swallow stuff around the back of my molars. My cheeks looked like chipmunk cheeks. They were huge. I'd like you to take a good look at my cheeks. Because my mouth was rubber band shut and my nose was still swollen, I had to breathe through my teeth like a straw. I was on a strict liquid diet. I had never had so many boost shakes in my life. They wanted to make sure that I wasn't gonna lose all this weight. And even with that, over the next few weeks, I lost 15 pounds. Fast forward after my time in the hospital, after the 5 days, I went to my uncle's for the next few weeks. I watched a lot of movies and TV and such, trying to keep myself occupied. I would sometimes call family. They're like, I can't understand a word that you're saying.
Well, I tried to talk to you, and this is the best that I could do.
I literally had to play the quiet game for 3 weeks. I couldn't open up my mouth, so that was a very claustrophobic kind of feeling. So I had to write everything down. If I needed something, I wrote it down. Someone asked me a question, I wrote down the answer. My uncle has a sick sense of humor. He would purposely make me laugh. I had all of these stitches up here. He decided to make a Jeffrey Dahmer joke about buying some Jeffrey Dahmer barbecue sauce. The way he said it, it just made me laugh so hard. I was laughing in pain or crying in laughter. My uncle liked to torture me a little bit, but that's how he showed that he cared. For me to be able to eat normal food and chew, I would say it was about 5 or 6 weeks before I was able to do that. The initial swelling took several weeks to go down. I'm very grateful to Shriners Hospital for performing this procedure. My doctor, he had performed thousands of procedures specifically for jaw surgery. These nurses and these surgeons at Shriners Hospital, they did not get paid. They were doing this in addition to their practice. If someday I end up making a lot of money, I definitely will put money into Shriners Hospital for Children because they changed my life and they've changed the life of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. I'm forever grateful for Shriners Hospital, and I am also forever grateful for God. We couldn't afford it otherwise.